Hey guys, I've been wanting to do a podcast like this for a long time. I'm going to call this the King's Court Podcast because it's going to be me and my court of wonderful YouTubers. Hopefully, I'm going to have some wonderful YouTubers like Joey Caps Gaming and DeMarco Dude, and some others may join us in the future. But we wanted to start a little small today, and I wanted to have my very close friends, like I said, DeMarco Dude and Joey. So I'm going to start right there. How are you guys doing today?
Joey, can you start every one of these by just staring ominously?
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. But King.
See, every episode you gotta get a little closer.
Yeah. You said you wanted to start small?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Small.
Just with the core group, just us three.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. More of an intimate.
Yes.
Yes.
That means in episode 100 there's gonna be 103.
No, we will invite
people.
other YouTubers in at times, but this is the core group of the King's Court. That's
the core.
what. Yes.
There we go. The core.
Yes.
Love it.
Wait, so then we need to designate roles, no?
Yeah.
Or will those come clear over time?
Those will
like
come.
Who's the jester?
No,
Who's
we don't
the
know yet.
other thing?
We don't
Who's
know
the-
yet. That's going to be established as we go. And this is something we're not going to do this every week. I think it'll be about a monthly thing. We'll take the news over a month, and we'll have plenty to talk about then. Well, our first episode is going to be a doozy. It's going to be, obviously, we're going to be talking about Starfield and the delay. I mean, this shocked me. I'm going to start right there. I know it shocked Joey as well. DeMarco, I hadn't really talked to you about it. Did it shock you, or were you kind of expecting the delay?
There's a right answer here, and I don't know what it is.
Ooh.
Because the amount of people that I've seen online who are like, of course we knew there was going to be a delay. Like, we knew it the whole time. Now, some people are saying it for the wrong reason, because some people are saying it because they, Bethesda hasn't shown gameplay yet, so obviously there was going to be a delay.
That's wrong.
Okay, but
yeah,
that means you just don't know Bethesda's marketing strategy.
exactly.
Because this is what they always do. But there's other people who are like, we saw it from a mile away. We knew it was coming. I was surprised. I was very personally surprised because, I mean, especially the thing that got me was Lone's video, which I'm sure you've both seen, where he said just explicitly every single bit of him of him speaking to Todd Howard or being around or whatever in meetings. I don't know what they do at Bethesda. I don't work there. Was pointing towards 11/11. And wow. It's just interesting because they had those pictures where Phil Spencer and the Xbox team was visiting Bethesda, and then a couple days later, boom, delay. So they saw something they didn't like. Or they just, but Todd was saying all along, like he started as the deadline was approaching, he was thinking to himself, no, we're not, we gotta pull the trigger and ask Phil Spencer if it's okay.
Okay, I was about to say, I have a question then. Do you think this decision came from up top? Did this come above Todd Howard to delay this game? Was Todd ready to go and Phil said, no, we've got to hold back?
Todd was ready to go. He's just sitting in his chair like, delay.
Oh, I mean, it almost seems like they showed it to Phil, and Phil was like, no, I think we better hold back.
But at the same token, the thing that goes on in my mind, Joey, maybe you feel the same. The thing that goes on in my mind is they showed it, and the conference could have been, hey, Phil, this is the reasons why we need to delay it.
Could be.
We don't know what we don't know what was shown. Like, obviously the game was shown. To what capacity, we don't know. So it could have, just as much as it could have been Phil Spencer going in and saying, you know what, I would like to see these things. It could have also been Todd Howard saying, here's why we might need a delay. Like, maybe he wasn't even saying we need it. He might have just been saying we might need to talk about it. And Phil said, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Because I think that a lot of people are underestimating how important this game is for Bethesda and Microsoft.
Oh, yes.
It's an important game.
Yeah, Phil said he wants it to be the most played Bethesda game ever.
Yeah.
That's pretty major.
No?
Joey, do you think it came from Phil or Todd? Who's? I mean,
the delay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's. I don't know. Because listen, they saw 76, right? And everybody thinks, hey, it should have had a delay, right? So it's like if you're Todd Howard and you obviously were around the 76 thing. So it's like, okay, listen, Starfield might not be ready in time or might be filled with bugs. We might have another cyberpunk thing going on. And he's like, do you know what? We don't want that. So maybe it was a proposed thing. Maybe he said, hey, Phil, listen, bro, we got to delay this thing because I want it to be great. And who knows? I don't know. Maybe Phil said, hey, this thing stinks. There's so many bugs. People are going to say Xbox stinks. They already say it already. But, hey, I don't know. I don't know where it came from. Maybe Todd Howard's grandmother. I have no idea.
Okay, I know this is not about 76, but can I go backwards just a minute and ask you guys, because this is something I've wanted to get off my chest for a long time. Let's go back to 2018.
Okay.
2018, E3 has just happened. We have heard and seen Fallout 76. The beta is coming. Anybody that pre-orders it's going to get the beta. Well, not only do I pre-order it, but I get the big helmet and all that stuff.
Sure, me too.
And all summer, they didn't say when the beta's coming, but it kind of seemed like you were going to get to play all summer long. Kind of. And the beta didn't come until, what, October, a couple of weeks before?
Yeah.
Why did the beta not open up for some, at least, in the summer? Why did they not start letting the beta open up that summer for Fallout 76?
Yeah. That's what they said, though. They said, "Oh, we should have let it cook longer." Like that was a statement the whole time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think they, honest to goodness, thought it was just a fine idea to release it in October. Like they just thought that was like they thought it was okay.
Yeah, it was.
And I mean, they learned.
Sure.
They learned that because that.
But they messed over a lot of fans too that put down a lot of money early too.
Oh, I hate this. I hate that. 2018 was a crappy year. That's when that stupid DeMarco Dude channel was incepted. But also, I hate that discussion because those people who are like, "Oh, Bethesda sucks," like, "Oh, I'm never buying it," but like. When the next Elder Scrolls game comes out or the next Fallout game comes out, 70-80% of those people are gonna
you're right.
In all fairness to Bethesda, they never gave you a date.
No.
So like
what happens when you assume?
Yep. I put down my own money and I said, "Here, we're getting the beta soon," and it wasn't until months later.
Yeah.
So in all fairness to them, it's just they never said, "Hey, it's coming in August." They never said that. So for anybody to be mad at them at that time, I mean, I guess I understand the frustration a little bit, but at the same time, it's like,
could it be possible that the game was still so not ready they couldn't put it out in beta? Could that be a possibility?
Is this a podcast about Starfield or Fallout 76?
Yeah, what is it? What are we doing?
Okay.
What podcast am I on?
Starfield.
Am I on the right one?
Speaking of Starfield, are we going to get
my damn booking agent.
Are we going to get a gameplay showcase?
Booking agent?
Are we going to get gameplay in the showcase June 12th? I think we are. I think it's going to be shorter, but I think we're still going to get gameplay on June the 12th. Now, I think the countdown and anything fun like that's gone. But I do think we'll still get probably even Todd Howard come out on the showcase and show us Starfield.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because I was thinking this, and I had mentioned this in something I did where all that footage that they need for the showcase is going to be on. It's going to be on an older build anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like the build that they make between now and when Starfield releases is going to be different, but they have probably an older, more stable one they could use for the sake of demos. So they don't necessarily need to change their plans. The only reason why they would change it isn't because, Starfield's because they can't. It's going to be because they need to stretch the marketing out over a longer period of time. And I had put out a poll on Twitter, and not that my 83 votes on the poll on Twitter, on YouTube. Not that my 83 votes account for everybody, but it was actually 70-30. 70% saying that no, they're still going to show what.
Hey, Twitter only samples 100 to decide how many bots are in their stuff. So 83, you're right there with Twitter.
Yes! Elon Musk, hire me! Whenever he buys it.
Sorry.
And gives us an edit button.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
No, that's it.
Go ahead, Joe. What do you think?
So everybody's saying, oh, Microsoft doesn't have anything this year, and they might not, right? But there might be a remake or remaster, if you will, coming.
Yeah, they're gonna surprise us with something.
I'm not. Well, no. I'm gonna be a little more realistic rather than being, oh, hey, we're gonna get Fallout 3. No. So obviously, one of the bigger IPs for Microsoft always has been Gears of War. Well, apparently, we might be getting that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also,
remake,
A Plague Tale Requiem. That's, I believe, that's coming. Oh no, that's also coming out on PlayStation 5. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was an Xbox title.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not Starfield, but they might still have some stuff up their sleeves as far as exclusivity goes. And me personally, I love Gears of War, but
even going back to Bethesda or Bethesda Softworks title, I think things like Wolfenstein 3 may be on the back there. I mean, I think they got some surprises they may pull out.
I just if that's the case, I don't think it would be released this year though. Like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it would cover the fall, if you will. Like, they're going to announce
the giant hole that Starfield made.
They're going to announce a game that we don't know exists yet.
Yeah.
And they did say they have something coming from every studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Well, a release?
Or where they were showing something.
No, not what they're showing. They're showing something from. Yeah, they're going to show something from every studio. They have a lot of things, and that's the other thing too, right? Is you see all those people who are saying, "Oh, Xbox has nothing. Xbox has nothing," but it's not as though these games aren't coming. You're still getting them.
So, do you think, really quick? Do you think we're going to get Starfield in the first half of 23? Is it going to be 3/3/23, or is it going to be pushed back to 11/11/23? Do you think we're going to get it in that first half of 23? I mean, very rarely do we have spring releases for Bethesda Game Studios. Oblivion came out in the spring. Yeah. I believe Morrowind came out in the spring
after
as
a delay.
Yeah, that's right.
Oblivion was after a delay.
After a delay. So it can happen, but it's in the modern time. It's always been October, November.
No, that won't be the case. I'm confident we'll get it probably in March. I don't foresee them pushing it back a full year.
It's Gordon. What?
Well, it would be a full year if it. Well, I guess it'd be a full year from now. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like now, June. June from now is
the initial release.
And that goes to my next question: is according to what's wrong? Is it just full of bugs? Is it the flying mechanics? What's wrong with this game? I mean, what? And I know we don't know. I know we're looking at the leak and. What's your gut? What's wrong with the game? What caused them to pull the plug on this right now? Was it the flying? Was that the big deal? Is it the bugs? What's the main problem with Starfield?
Wait, King, what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think bugs are the issue. I think the flying is the issue. I mean, that is one of the hardest things. What I hear, bugs with flight. Yeah. I have heard, I don't know, I'm not a game dev, I've heard a space simulator is one of the hardest things to do. And they've tackled another very hard thing to do. And I think that's what they're having trouble with. I'm hoping they are calling in another studio. I mean, they've got a lot of resources now with Xbox. Hopefully they'll call in another studio that has had success with this kind of thing. That can help them, the way that they called in, I believe it was id Software to help them with the shooting mechanics in Fallout 4. Call in another studio to help with the flying. And then they can also, work on the bugs as they go.
What do you think, Joey?
Dude, I don't, I mean, the thing is, King made a good point. about it probably not being because of bugs. It's probably because of flying. It's such a new mechanic, especially to BGS. And you think about it,
they've never
bugs,
had a vehicle
yeah,
before,
and
ever.
bugs have
Oh,
never
they
stopped
had
them before.
They
know,
had the dragons in Skyrim.
They did. That
They had vehicles.
they had horses too in Skyrim.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
had horses.
Yeah.
So technically,
Those are animals.
But
Those are
space-
animals to Marco.
but flying in space though, is that a little different than even driving a car here?
Yeah, light speed's a little different.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's probably because of that. It's especially what did they like showcase it recently, like behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's
with the
what we were
flying
talking
stuff,
about.
and they got bashed for it. Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Beautiful. I've just been playing it a little bit more recently. Like I've stopped. I hop in back and forth because it's a slow game, but I love it. Like gorgeous. You get on your horse and you travel for 3 to 5 whatever minutes to get from one town to the next or to get to your objective. You can fast travel, of course, but the game, and arguably that's like a huge part of it, is going through their world, which is beautifully crafted. Now take away the beautiful world from Red Dead Redemption, or replace the backdrop of sailing on a boat in The Witcher with space. It's more beautiful than sailing on a boat in just open ocean, but it's still equally as empty. Still equally as boring. Now Red Dead Redemption is filled with interesting interactions, so you have that going for it. But how much are you possibly going to have in space? Like, how big is space? It's a stupid question to ask. Like, it's massive. Yeah. So how like in Red Dead, you come across a guy who's shoeing his horse, he gets kicked by the horse. You come across a guy who got his leg stuck in a bear trap, a guy who was bit by a snake and you need to give him an antidote for the venom or something. You come across these interesting things, but in space, how often are you going to come across those things? So now you're taking this really boring, for lack of a better word, open, empty environment that you're sailing through in space, and it's cool. Flying your ship in No Man's Sky is cool. It gets old after a while. Right. The novelty wears off. So, yeah, if they're delaying it because of the ship stuff, I hope that part of this is being considered. Like, yeah, they are adding more content to the space. They are making it more full.
Yeah.
That is a rant.
No, I got you.
I'm not that excited for space, if I'm being honest. Like, it's there, but I'll probably end up fast traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the novelty wears off, absolutely.
I'll just end up going like, all right.
This is a little less about the game, but does this change the marketing? I mean, because like you said, we're at least delaying the game a year if we're looking at 3.3, the first half of 23. They've been giving us these little teaser trailers. Is this going to change their marketing of the game? Do we still get those kind of things every month, or does it really slow down for a while? What does the marketing do to Starfield now?
Good question.
Yeah,
close down.
I think
Everything.
Yeah, I think it crawls to a halt
no,
myself.
Everything, like even, the fact, just to kind of back Lone's point where he said Todd Howard was convinced 11/11 was a date, like all of the marketing material leading up to this Xbox showcase, Bethesda showcase, you could tell, like, we've been getting in a semi-consistent basis these Into the Starfield, which offers you tidbits and teases. It gets people talking, whether they're talking about, like, how dare you haven't shown footage, or they're talking about, like, hey, how cool is this concept art? They're talking about the game. To me, it's been an incredibly clear path that is where they're going to, and now that's halted, so I don't know if we're going to keep seeing those.
I was about to say, they're either going to have to redo their marketing, they're either going to have to add to their marketing, or they're going to have to stop it and kind of push it forward. That means we're going to get a real big place where we don't get anything for a while, and then they're going to start it back in November. We'll start getting those things again. Joe?
Well, what if they did this though? So what if, all right, we have the June showcase, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to show something. They have to. They're going to show something. Whether it's as extensive as we thought, probably not. But they're going to show something. And then maybe get a trailer in August. And then maybe a more extensive showcase in November if it is slated for a release in March or or April or May, whenever they want to do this thing. So I feel I'm not sure if they want to have that big gap of nothing from, I think they want to keep people hyped because, man, this took the wind out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
As far as the game, the delay and stuff. So they're going to try and fill it in as much as they possibly
Absolutely.
can.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But it's gotta make sense.
I think
too.
there'll at least be a gap between the showcase and QuakeCon. I think QuakeCon will get more gameplay. That maybe hopefully a little trailer or something, and then maybe the marketing starts a little bit again, maybe around there. That's if we're going for the QuakeCon.
What month?
I knew you was gonna ask. Somebody look it up real quick. It's the summer. No, it's the summer.
That's the Game Awards, my bad.
Yeah, it's the summer. It'll be either July or
August.
I think it's right around the 1st of August.
August 18th to 20th.
There you go.
Yep.
So I look for a more extensive showing there. I think now they've got the chance. Of course, remember they're doing it digitally again. So how much they're going to do, who knows? If it was going to be on site, they could have it. The last QuakeCon, it was when Doom Eternal came out, and everything was around Doom Eternal. I mean, everything. I got to go to it. Even the press passes was the Doom cards. I had a blue or yellow, or the old Doom cards that you got. Yeah, that's what the press passes looked like. It was so cool. So if it was in person,
for us, right?
Yeah, I did. If it was in person, it could be all around Starfield. Now I don't know how much they're going to do, but they do have at least a chance to show us some more there, because that's something. What do we have in the fall? I'm sure there's Game Awards coming up in the fall. I mean, is there a time that you can see in the fall where this will be the time they really start and they give us a main trailer, and there's where the marketing's really going to take off? Isn't there a main Game Awards coming in the fall? I know DeMarco dude's kind of looking right now.
December.
When it comes to December, yeah.
Yeah. Could that be? I mean, that would be a great time to start some marketing.
Yeah, so my take on it is that I honestly thought I still think we're going to see kind of a similar, maybe just like when people say shortened down, I mean like just like a little bit shortened down, a little bit trimmed.
Yeah.
From this upcoming showcase, because this is still Starfield's debut, and I still think that, either if I were in that position, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but if I were in that position, I'd say let's either do it or let's not, like, barely do it, right? And people are saying, well, we might still just get, like, instead of 20 minutes, we'll only get 10 or whatever. Either do your 20-minute to 30-minute demo or do a trailer. Now, the trailer is going to tick people off because this event is being built around Starfield. It's already been marketed as such. Fans will get over it, but I think that they'll still go forward with this big showcase. Long gap of silence. Trailer at the Game Awards to re-spark interest, and then marketing picks up in late January, with a March release potentially. I know some people are saying that's impossible. They're not going to make March. That's my guess. But I don't think we'll see marketing until late January, other than a Game Awards trailer.
Okay, maybe my final question, because this one may take a while, and I wanted to kind of keep this podcast short. What does this do to future BGS games? I know this is a huge talk. I actually got in trouble, believe it or not, from a lot of people, but because I believe they didn't watch the video, they just saw my title, because I said Bethesda needs to put out games faster. What does this do to future BGS titles? Is this going to push everything back? What do y'all think about The Elder Scrolls 6? What do y'all think about Fallout 5? Does this push everything back? Or is it possible that they're smart enough to do something like I said they need to do, is to quit wasting 3 studios and start working on 2 single player games at the same time. That would make so much sense. But anyway, Joe, I'm gonna ask you first.
Yeah.
Because I know what you think.
You know, obviously the whole idea of them having more manpower and to work on these games that make a lot of money, like the King, we talk about it all the time. The Fallout franchise makes a boatload of money. Fallout 4 back in 15 made almost $1 billion within 24 hours of the release of the game, which is insane. So it's like, and especially after 76, people are starving for a single player Fallout game.
And let me say it. I
So
haven't said it in this
me?
podcast.
Yeah.
It has been 8 years since a single player BGS game. 8 years.
Does it feel
7.
that the year that Metro 2033 takes place is when you might get to play Fallout again?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. I mean, it's been 7 years. It came out in 15.
Yeah.
But
no, it
Metro
will be.
2033
It will be
will
with
be Fallout
Starfield.
5.
2023. So
well, by
8
the time
years.
Starfield comes
Yeah.
out, sure.
8
yeah,
years.
yeah. But that would make sense. But are they really doing that? You know, it's just they've they've expanded so much since Fallout 4. But at the same time, I don't know. I would love them to. It would make sense. But are they really doing it? Is Microsoft putting more manpower behind Bethesda?
Okay,
Not sure.
DeMarco, dude, I don't know if you've seen my last video. If you hadn't, shame on you.
Yeah.
But
No, I saw it. You and Joey were talking about it, and Joey brought up my video where I was talking about Shirley Curry. I watched it.
okay, good. So you know what I was saying that should happen. That basically there's some wasted studios with these VR and mobile studios. I know they need that. I know they need at least one studio working on that, and I think that's fine. But shouldn't they revamp a little bit now that they're under Microsoft?
I mean, here's the question, though, right? Is what happens to those studios that get stuck in that position? And what I mean by that is Bethesda very specifically wanted to make Starfield largely, I mean, Todd Howard wanted to do a sci-fi game, right? But also because they didn't want to just do Fallout, Elder Scrolls Fallout. And they're bouncing between 2 IPs. So what happens then? Does one studio get stuck doing the same IP all the time?
I wouldn't.
What's the logistics? Yes, we want a dedicated, because you said it yourself, King. We want a dedicated Elder Scrolls studio, a dedicated Fallout studio. Maybe they have one that works, and then they start bouncing between the two.
Yeah.
But then also on top of that, I think one of the things that it's like a hydra, because every time I think of one thing, then 2 other problems come up in its place, right? Because then what happens? Gopher made a video where he talked about the delays, and he was saying how people are still playing tons of people are playing Skyrim. You don't need all of these fancy engine upgrades to make a great Bethesda game. You don't. You really don't. You need a great world. You need great music. You need, the good questing and all that stuff the factions, all that stuff that comes with it. So you don't need a massive upgrade every time you make a game. But when does that start to get old? Because I think one of the things that makes Bethesda games as special as they are, not that I want to be waiting 8 years because that's absurd, between 2 releases of Elder Scrolls titles, longer than that, but because you can go and you can play Oblivion, and it's distinctly special because it's so different from Skyrim. And you could go back and play Morrowind, and it's so different from Oblivion. And same with Fallout 3 to Fallout 4, and same with Fallout 4 to Fallout 5 when that comes out. Like, that's part of, they feel like their own games.
And I guess I should say this. I don't think any of us want an Assassin's Creed model where they're trying to come out with one every year. Not to that extreme. I'm just wanting them to cut the window down a little. Cut that dev time down, the development time down a little bit, where 4 years would be a maximum time, not. I mean,
between games or between IPs?
Between games. I mean,
Gotcha.
Because we're looking, like we said now, at 8 years between single-player games. But between Oblivion and Fallout 3, it was 2 years. So they can do it. They can put out a great game in 2 years. I think 2 years is a great, 2 to 3 years. If we can get games every 2 to 3 years, that would be wonderful. It would be great if we could cut it down. Do I have all the answers how they can do that? No. I'm just suggesting something. I'm just suggesting a starting place. I'm suggesting that they are wasting 3 studios. They've got 4 main studios, and only one of them are working on what the fans love. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're completely right. I'm just always thinking of what's the consequence, like what, because there's a trade-off. There's a give and take. Always, nothing's free.
No, I agree.
Nothing's free.
Yeah.
So what is that? What cost?
Guys, final thoughts on Starfield, the delay, future BGS games, whatever it is you want to talk about, because we're coming to the end of this. Just the impact of the delay of Starfield. What does it do?
How long is this?
DeMarco, dude.
How long has it been?
It has been 35 minutes already.
Oh wow, that's good. That's not that bad. That's a lot better than I thought it was.
Yeah.
No, I've been talking a lot, Joey. I don't want to talk too much.
No, man, it's cool. No, I'm looking. You know, I mean, it's there. There's a lot of unknown with Bethesda. Obviously, you know, it's all obviously we know Starfield and we know Elder Scrolls is coming, but is there anything in between? As like for BGS or like when do we get Fallout 5? Like is there for the Fallout fans besides 76? Is there something that we could look forward to? Because Fallout 5 is projected what in another 8 years, 8 to 10. Imagine 2032 Fallout 5.
Okay, I'm going to say
That'd be
something.
insane.
I'm going to say
That'd
something
be
I
10
said
years.
in our last podcast. I'm only going if this keeps up, I'm only going to get to play one more Fallout and one more Elder Scrolls in my life. That's if God gives me a good long life.
Yeah. How old are you, King? Are you 50 yet?
This year.
Yeah.
Yep, this year.
You'll be 62, potentially. When Fallout 5 comes out.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Skyrim Grandma is still playing. She's 85. So she's
God
good.
bless her.
But that's what I said. Only one more Fallout and only one more Elder Scrolls for me.
Nah, you got more than that.
You might have like 2 Fallouts in you, King.
Yeah, you got at least 1.5 Starfields.
Gosh.
What is he gonna croak in the middle of playing the second one?
So y'all understand when I'm saying they need to put them out faster, I'm being very selfish. Okay, DeMarco, dude, what do you think? What's the impact of this delay?
I'm very listen, you look at like Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and you have 2 great games, 2 stellar games from 2 different studios. So I'm not I don't want to be misconstrued as like I'm not in the camp of Bethesda making games faster. And if that means that they have to give it to another like Skyrim, release Skyrim 2. I don't care. Release Skyrim 2. I think that the future of Bethesda is really going to evolve, in my opinion, following Starfield's release. And actually, I would say post Elder Scrolls 6, we're going to really see what Bethesda's releases look like. And I know that's a while, but the reason why I say that is because, admittedly, now I wouldn't be surprised if they are still in some ways acclimating to Microsoft's acquisition and how they're handling and how do they bounce between teams and what does the logistics look like. Because yes, but like Microsoft can say, oh, we got all these studios, but to take people from there to put them on Bethesda means they're not working on the other thing they could be working on. So, once the logistics are all settled, which I think will happen after Starfield, then we have Elder Scrolls 6 next, we know. And then the content plan, the roadmap, for Bethesda is going to become clear after that. Is that insightful? Do I sound profound?
Man, that was profound. That was great.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think this is big. Honestly, I said something, and I hate repeating, but I will repeat it. I think Microsoft needs to see, and I'm talking about Phil Spencer, I think he needs to see one big BGS title like Skyrim to be convinced that BGS needs some extra resources to get these games out faster. That's my... So I see the Starfield delay as hurting that a little bit, but I think Phil already knows it because he's saying things like he wanted this to be the biggest Bethesda game ever, and I think he knew that this was what the showcase was going to be centered around. I mean, this was the big game. So I think he realizes that when he bought Bethesda, he was really buying BGS. That's what he wanted. I mean, the other studios are good. I love Arcane. I'm not putting those down. But
We talking about
BGS,
Colts coming back for a second game.
Did say what?
Colts doing a new title, but still playing the role of Colts, the voice actor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We're talking about that tonight too. We don't have time for that.
No, we don't. I wish I did. But really, BGS was the money cow of Bethesda. We can all agree with that. So why not give them more resources to bring more to Xbox? That's all I'm saying. Just bring the games sooner. I mean, if we get Starfield this year, as we're looking to the future, everybody starts adding up in their head, okay, we get Elder Scrolls then 2027, and we start doing the math by the old book. I don't think we need to go by the old book. I think if Phil Spencer sees those dollars start coming in, I think he's going to go, you've got 4 studios. We need to start getting these games a little bit quicker.
Well, do you think there'll be new IPs though, like still Bethesda game style, but new IPs? Like they instead of saying, "Oh, Bethesda Montreal, you're now doing the Elder Scrolls," and then eventually Maryland can take it over, or whatever, however that. Do you think that they would just say, "No, Bethesda Maryland, like, make a Bethesda game, make a Fallout 76, make a Starfield." I mean, we might be getting the Starfield MMO. I know this is ZeniMax rumor, but
we'll see. Like, the interesting thing about the way I designed the studios, I had it where one studio can work on a live service game like Fallout 76. Yeah. Another studio can work on mobile games, another project, whatever it is, and then you've got 2 studios working on single player games. So you've got 2 studios that can work on other projects as it is. So yeah, I think they will have different things coming from them. I mean, when you have that many resources, why not? Absolutely. And I think they will take some chances in the future. Again, like Fallout 76. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Joe, any final words, bud?
No, brother. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. And that's all I got.
Absolutely. DeMarco, dude?
I'll talk less next time.
No, absolutely. Talk more. We love it. Well, this was the first episode of The King's Court. Thank you all for joining us. Y'all, please go subscribe to DeMarco Dude and Joey Caps. I don't know if I'm pointing the right direction, but hey, please go subscribe to these guys. They are awesome. They are awesome. Go subscribe to them. I am the KingFanMan. They are who they are. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.